Here, let me hide that. All right, everyone. So this is the first of spontaneous combustion events for disruptors by disruptors. And today we're going to talk about how to get published. I'm here with Hammad Siddiqui, and I'm Mark Benkover. And Mark Pratt might join us a little later. I sent the link kind of late because that's my bad. But we're just going to rip and rant and talk about how to get published. If you noticed in the intro, kind of went from, there's a theme there. I don't know if you caught it, but someone thinking an idea, then someone pondering, twiddling their pen, writing, typing, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, here we are. We're going to talk about how to get published. I am a wannabe, and Hammad is, how many books you got now?
2 published, 1 in the pipeline.
So. All right, so he's got 2 published and 1 coming on. So that's pretty cool. So I'm just a wannabe, so I'll like lead the conversation and stuff, but he's gonna be dropping some knowledge. Actually, I should probably put my mic over here. He's gonna be dropping some knowledge, so you probably should listen to him more than me, but that's okay. We got DJ and Carl Sean Watkins. I'm proud of DJ. DJ had her first live show yesterday. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it to it because my show just ended and I had to go to work. Got to make a living. Anyway, then but I watched the replay. You were awesome, DJ. That was a great show. I might want to be a guest someday because I got lots of problems. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so actually, I was gonna write hi, DJ, but she probably knows that because I've been talking to her for a second. Anyway, so Hammad,
Hey.
what were the names of your books?
So the first book is Bootstrapping Your Career, and that's focused on anyone at any level of his or her career. And the idea behind that strange name, because bootstrapping is associated with entrepreneurship, is that I think everyone who is growing in his or her career is bootstrapping every time you grow. You move on and you bootstrap. So you start with no resources, you build your resources, you learn new things, and you grow. So that was the first book which I published about 6 years ago. And more recently, I published a book which is focused on LinkedIn optimization and how do you use LinkedIn optimally, basically, if you can, theme it that way.
Okay.
And the third one in the pipeline is Keep Rising.
Keep Rising?
Yeah.
All right. That's a motivational, inspirational kind of thing, right?
So, I mean, see, I'm a big, my own career started from literally nowhere and to wherever I reached until recently, and then I bootstrapped myself, and I'm kind of into a new role in my life at this age with this experience. So I'm not a big fan of like motivation as such. I think it's more like an inspiration of what can be done, and this is the theme that I'm carrying these days. If anybody has watched my morning live session that I've been doing from 1st of January, and my focus has been growth in 2021. How do you grow? And I'm kind of taking a small baby steps kind of a thing in helping other people to grow. So Keep Rising means, it's a book about how do you practice certain things that would help you keep moving on in your career, be it business or job or whatever.
Okay. And I know what bootstrapping is, but I thought maybe what's your definition of bootstrapping?
Yeah, so I mean it's a universal definition. Entrepreneurs and in the literature around entrepreneurship, it's available. I mean, so you start with no resources, and you build or create your resources. You find those resources which would help you do your work. This is the simplest possible definition that I recoined, if you may that way.
Yeah. So for those who are on Growth Academy and those who aren't, I guess, that's what Growth Academy is all about. If you listen to Shanae, she's like, use LinkedIn and build the back end first, and the front end will come. Meaning, use LinkedIn, build your personal brand. Don't spend a lot of money, especially if you don't have any. Then you can't, I guess. Although there are some people that get away with that. Somehow they spend money they don't have. I never understood that. But then so you build a brand, you build your back end, and then you build your personal brand, and then people will be attracted to you, and then you create a monetized situation from that and build your business from there.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and just so, and I mean, I portrayed myself as unpublished, which I am, but I read all the time. And something a lot of people don't know about me. It's about 25 years ago. I was working at Boeing, and I was doing this executive potential. So we merged with McDonnell Douglas, and I created the program to develop potential leaders that had executive potential. And you're like going, what does that have to do with publishing? Getting to it. So anyways, one of the guys on that team, his wife was Olga Biko. She's a great author. Just go check out some of her books. She writes like mystery murder stuff. Anyways, I met Olga through her husband, and Olga was kind enough to introduce me to her agent. So I have a 320-page police procedural. So basically, it's about a serial killer and the pursuit and capturing him. Anyway, so I went to Olga's agent. She read it. She said, hey, you're a really good writer, but right now we don't need any police procedurals. We really looking for female authors, just all these kind of things. But although she didn't take me on, she gave me the grace of introducing me to another agent. And so I believe I lost count of all the rejections, but I presented it to like 75 agents and publishing houses, got rejected from all. Then I just let it go. And now I have another book, nonfiction, that I'm looking to publish in the next couple months. So I am an author. I'm just not published. But once again, Hammad's going to spread the knowledge. So how did the idea come for these books? Did you just one day?
So yeah, I mean So I in my whole life I've done things that I never did before. So which means that I kept experimenting with new ideas. And as you can understand that I am not a native English speaker. My mother tongue is Urdu. In my school I started studying English at grade 5. So writing in English was kind of an adventure, sort of. But because of my work environment, and I work with British Foreign Office and with this very large US NGO, I've been traveling across the globe and all that. My language kept improving, and one thing that I realized after having traveled and after having met so many people is that career is one thing everybody is interested in. And if we take career as a generic words, be it working for someone or building your own empire, like you are building now, or I am trying to build. This is all career, and this all can hit like bottlenecks, and you can all find challenges. And are we actually using basic management science principles to handle these situations? So my book, Bootstrapping Your Career, which is in the next phase now because of thanks to LinkedIn, a connection has just built up to do something else with the book to make it like internationally available. I started writing small blogs, and that was the starting point. And that's all I could do at that moment in time, because I was stressed with travel and all that. So I created a blog, and as Shanae also talks a lot about, and she talks highly about creating your brand, I branded myself as career guru. So my blog, which I am not that active anymore, but still exists, it's careerguru.co. I launched that blog about 7 years ago, and the easiest thing was that I keep writing small, like 500 word stuff onto the blog in shape of blog. And I was kind of pretty religiously writing it, capturing these stories and entrepreneurial stories, my own thoughts, and putting those in the blog. So at the end of almost a year and a half, I had enough content to put together in shape of a book. But that's the point when I was kind of struggling as to, I have content, but on a blog you are not that disciplined, right? In a book you have to
Right.
be disciplined, that you're writing like chapters and stuff. On the blog you get something and you just write about it. So that was the kind of the point when I had to speak to other people, like
Right.
people who have done it before, as to kind of take their advice on how do I go about. That's the
That's
starting
so
point.
weird. The reason, well, let me explain. The host just told the guest that was so weird. No, it's weird because there's serendipity. So my book, the one I'm going to publish the next couple months, is called the 90-Day Challenge, or How I Found My Voice in a 24/7 5G Social Media World. And it's done in thirds. So the 90-Day Challenge, for those that don't know, is Christopher Hummel of Growth Academy challenged all of us to be consistent. Like, how do you do a brand? You be consistent. And so he said one way to be consistent is to post 90 days in a row on LinkedIn. So I did that, and about halfway through, I said, hey, I'm going to make a book. So the book's called The 90-Day Challenge, and the subtitle, but it's 1/3 is going to be the blogs, unedited, just in there. So each chapter is going to be divvy up. Like the first chapter is posts 1 through 10, then my experience of that, and then also kind of theories behind writing and all that kind of philosophy in there. So that's all together. So it's kind of like yours, a little, well, different subject, but kind of arranged like yours. Because I was going to ask, did you map it out first? But it kind of sounds like you did the blog, then you had all this material, and then you formed it in a book. Did you add like any transitions or anything, or you just took it straight from the blog and put it in a book?
Well, blog is a very different language as compared to the book.
Yeah.
And the key challenge for, I think, every author is to basically find the starting point and the ending point. I mean, you can keep writing for forever actually, and you can never get published because you are not satisfied. You are still feeling that you have to put more in. But the starting point is the point when you say, okay, this is the focus of my book. This is how I'm going to define chapters and stuff. And in this whole scenario, one of my very good friend who has actually published before also, and he's a dear friend. So I actually sought his advice on it, and what I did actually, I did a naughty thing. So I combined the manuscript. I won't call it a manuscript. Script. It's just
Right.
a combination of
Gotta do it. Gotta do
all the
it.
shit, all the shit I had. I sent it off to him. I said,
Yeah.
"This is what I have. Tell me what to do with it."
Yeah.
And as I mean, there is fascinating people out there in this world, and people you have to show your respect and give them value. And obviously, he was a friend, and he took like almost a month because like he teaches economics,
Right.
and then he kind of figured out as to how to kind of create those chapters from that shit that I provided him,
Right.
and that was like very good. Like that was the real starting point for me. And once the chapters were there, then I had to kind of redefine the language in those kind of content that I had. And allow me to say, I'm a big fan of Seth Godin, the revolutionary marketeer out there.
Mhm.
And I follow him. I've read a lot of his books, and I follow him religiously. And I love his style. It's conversational. It's very straight. So I actually took cue from his style and kind of wrote my book as if Seth Godin would write it. I mean, obviously, he's very experienced, but that's how I created the 124 pages content of that bigger shit that I had.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as they they say, and none of us know who they actually are, but
Yeah.
there's people out there that say there's been no original stories, including nonfictions, written since the Bible and the Old Testament, the just all those, and then Shakespeare. So
Yeah.
everything's been about. And then who else? Oh, was it Ben Franklin? No, Mark Twain. Mark Twain, of course.
Okay.
One of my favorite quotes by Mark Twain is he said, "There are no longer any original ideas. We just take somebody's ideas, put it in our kaleidoscope, and give it a few turns."
Yeah.
So for people out there, your voice is unique, and don't worry about, well, yes, worry about plagiarism, but you can emulate people you like and just find your voice and write it down however you write it, and then get help. Like for
Yeah.
example, I'm enlisting an editor, so I have, like you called it, I have a bunch of crap. I've got like 90,000 plus words of crap, and so then I need someone to look at it, with the exception of the posts, because I'm gonna hold integrity. The posts are the posts;
Yeah.
they're going in the book straight, warts and all, bad language and all. And by bad language, I mean grammatically incorrect, not
Yeah.
swear words,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So yeah, so just write. I'm just going to hit lessons, and we'll probably call this one. So how do you get published? Well, first of all, you write. So you write enough words to have a book. Then you can, like Hammad, you go, hey, I really like this author. I'm going to style my stuff like that, pull it all together. I'm going to enlist the help of a friend. I'm going to enlist the help of an editor. So yeah, there's a lot of help out there, and just write. Everybody has a unique voice.
And interestingly, Mark, when this initial help came in, I was able to put everything together in a context. So it was like the manuscript was there, and then the next stage was to find an editor for the book. And I basically, because I have a pretty decent social media network, what I did, I just put it, and I was big on Facebook at that time. I'm no longer on, I don't use Facebook that often. I'm more onto like professional platform, LinkedIn, which I love. But at that time, Facebook. So I just put a post there, um, uh, I've done this, I've gone that far. I need an editor to help me with editing, because it's going to be a book for which I'm going to only charge the price of printing. I mean, I won't charge anything. It's just for a book. So it was kind of a cause. Thank you, Sylvia. Thank you. So I just put it there, and one of my contacts, she is Suzanne, is her name, based in Singapore. She is an English teacher. She's a British, and she said, "Okay, I can help you. I can edit it for you." And I said, "How much will you charge?" She said, "I won't charge you anything. Whatever you want to pay me, just give it to any charity you love." And so, technically speaking, I didn't have to pay anything, and she took the manuscript. I was not in rush, so she took about a month or so, and she kind of uh, added a lot of pearls into this whole content that I had, and I was ready to find a publisher to publish my book. It was all ready.
Yeah, I mean, I view the world as a generous place, but I'm still constantly amazed at all the people that are out there to help you.
Yeah,
Like that guy's wife. I mean,
yeah,
I worked with her husband. We weren't great friends or nothing. I don't even think we went out for a beer or anything, but yet he introduced us, and she was like, oh yeah, sure, I'll help you. I'll introduce my agent. I'll do an introduction, and she didn't even know me. And then
yeah,
your editor, oh, just give the charity, I'll do it, that kind of thing. So
yeah.
I'm always amazed, and I kind of expect it to. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's always bilateral, You would have done something. It's not about going out with someone and having a beer or a coffee. I think
Why
it's,
not?
yeah, I mean, fine. I mean, you do that,
I
but
know, I know.
I mean, it's not with one specific person. I think if you're generous enough and you help people, otherwise also, not necessarily that particular person, for you help will come. So just before coming online, I was a couple of minutes late joining your stream before you were at backstage. I was actually helping a non-profit write their marketing letter. So their executive director, and it's a non-profit here in Toronto that works with Syrian refugees, and they help them with lots of things, empowerment and healthcare and all that. And so I mean, I volunteered for them like ages ago in kind of conducting training programs for women entrepreneurs. So the executive director called me like she was. They had a big launch actually in which Justin Trudeau came in and it went viral. They have got a huge list of about 900 potential people and all that. I mean, I won't go into the deeper in the story, but she said, Ahmad, I'm pressed for time, and this is what I've created. And can you please help me fine tune it? And while we were talking on Zoom, she shared it with me, and I said, this is a piece of crap. I mean, nobody's going to give you $10 of it. You have to tell a story. There's no story around it. And she said, Ahmad, can you do
Ahmad
something
is
because tomorrow
nothing
we're
if not honest.
so I was actually working with. I mean, obviously, no, no benefit, nothing. I could have done something and earn money, but this is how people help each other. So somebody would come out and help you. Some help may come for me. Just by helping some other people. I think this is how the mechanism of this whole world is moving along.
Yeah, I agree. And it's kind of fun. And for some reason, I'm still surprised, even though I agree and I think everybody's helpful and all that. It's still when someone does it, it's like DJ, for example. I mean,
Yeah.
she's awesome. I mean, her show is awesome. She comes to most of my shows, and I always feel good when I see her in there. And I'm like, I don't, I don't know. I'm just surprised, and I love it. Anyway, but so let's talk a little bit about um. By the way, I mean the way Hammad and I met is he came to. Did you go to Carl's show?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So Carl's on. So I had read Carl, Sean Watkins, and Hammad was on there, and he was like dropping some knowledge. I'm just like, who is this guy? And then we connected and talked a little bit, and then we came up with this idea. And so for the first book, did you self-publish or did you get a publisher to put it out for you?
Yeah, so I had both options to go to a publisher and lick his feet to publish my book. I'm first-time author who's going to read me and stuff like that. And the second option was that I would self-publish. And given the fact that I was in Pakistan, I was living there at that moment in time. Now I'm in Toronto. Uh, I had the resources and the network that really helped me a lot. So book cover, a friend of mine who had the PR agency, he designed the book cover, and I had a long fight with him and his wife about the picture, about my own picture, and he
Oh,
was
really?
unhappy with that. Ahmad, you're looking down, and this and that. I said, see, this is my book, this is my picture, and this picture is going on the title. I don't care, fix it. So he still curses me because I mean, technically speaking, but I somehow like the picture, and the picture was sort of a spontaneous picture. I was actually training a big group somewhere, and the photographer took that picture while I was pointing at someone. It was like a real picture. I was not posing, and I really value that picture a lot still. So because it just gives you the natural thing out of me. So I said, I'm going to use it. So he designed that. He chose the color and everything. I took ISBN number because for those who are new publishers, please always take an ISBN number. That number actually puts your book in the global index. So there is a global index for books in which you categorize your books. So take ISBN number and put that number at the back of the book so that your book sort of I mean, I'm not a big like author or anything, but my book is
Right.
recognized, at least available internationally, in that index. So I took that number. I mean, it hardly took me any time. I sent it to a friend of mine who went to National Library and got it for me next day. And I was ready. So I found someone, another contacts who had a printing business. So So he said, I said, this, can you do it for me? He said, yes, this will be the price. I said, done, do it. And a week down the line, I had 1,000 copies of my books ready.
So, by the way, not only is the book about bootstrapping, but he published a book by
Yeah,
bootstrapping.
absolutely. Yeah.
So now
Exactly.
was it not only was it self-published, it was bootstrapped. I
Absolutely.
bootstrapped the bootstrap.
Yep.
Bootstrap squared.
Yes.
Um, yeah. So that's cool. And then what about the second book? Was that self-published as well, or?
It's so I mean technically it's not an ebook. It's a PDF book, and
Okay.
I so as you know, you and I had a conversation about it. I think for our whoever is with us now, maybe just a bit of the background might kind of create more interest, and we probably have some questions around that also. Uh, so what I'm doing is LinkedIn profile optimization and coaching. And LinkedIn is a space which is still unexplored by many. 800 million people, 100 million added only in the past 8 months. So it's a fast growing space for professionals to come and connect, B2B people to come and, hi, who's that?
It's
Who's that?
Denrich. For some reason,
All
it's
right, hi,
Denrich.
Enrich, how are you?
I don't know why his name doesn't come up. He
Hi,
likes to be
couldn't see.
stealthy.
Yeah, thanks, Enrich, for joining in. So, uh, a lot of information is not available. Some basic information is not available around how do you use LinkedIn optimally. So I started talking to some what I call quote unquote LinkedIn gurus, people who use LinkedIn like highly effectively and all that. And I also started writing posts. So again, because I had this experience before, I started writing those posts and kind of keeping on in a Word document and putting those posts on my LinkedIn to create traction. And 2 months down the line, I had enough content to produce that ebook. And in that ebook, I mean, I had some interesting international contributors who came in and contributed. I mean, one of them I would like to recognize her, Jennifer Catallo. She is LinkedIn's representative in Ontario, so she is like big. She is the LinkedIn for Ontario, and so she runs several LinkedIn programs, and she's been helping me with a few other things also. So she did a chapter, and some other international players within the space gave me some content to publish in that book. So I put everything together again, got it edited through a friend, and just created a PDF book. And here, if anybody is like interested in, so what I'm doing at the moment is, and this is like making money is also important. We all have to put food on the table, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm doing is I'm creating digital content. My first book was sort of a digital content, but it will be converted into a proper digital content now. The second book is PDF available on my website, which I'm kind of recreating the whole website. Uh, for $9.99. Anybody wants to download it, download it. But this book is kind of provides all the information that somebody needs to have to be
The
able to
second one or the third one?
the second one. The second
Okay.
one.
Okay.
Yeah, the LinkedIn book. And
Okay.
the third one is actually the second book because I wrote that book after my first book, but that's in the manuscript form still. But third
Wow.
book,
It's kind of like the Beatles' Abbey Road. Let
yeah,
It
yeah,
Be.
yeah, exactly,
They
right.
recorded
Yes,
differently
yes,
and
yes.
released opposite.
Yes, yeah. So, so that's the second. So we'll talk about published books. So the first one was on career. The second one was also related to career, but very focused on a niche market, which is LinkedIn.
Okay.
And that's how kind of I published it, and I sold a few copies also because as I said, Mark, I try to experiment. I put that book on
Yeah.
Fiverr, for instance, for $5, and
Right.
I sold like few copies there.
Right.
I
Hey,
was
two
not,
copies is more than me.
yeah, exactly. So the thing that satisfies me is that I was able to sell. I mean, bottom line
Right.
is I had a product, and if I could not sell, that's a slap on my face, right?
Right.
But if there's a product, and doesn't matter if I sold 20 copies or 25,000 copies, I was able to sell. And I was able to use a tool that not many people use for selling a book. And then this idea came up because I was already building my website to put it there, and I sold a few copies from there. But with the new website, new branding, and everything, it's going to change everything.
What is your website? I'm gonna put it here.
Don't put it yet.
No, don't put it yet. Oh, it's not ready.
No,
Never
actually,
mind.
the
Pay no
one that
attention to the website.
no, the one that I have live at the moment is changing. So complete branding is changing. Well, I think we leave it here because no, the issue, Sylvia, is that the current website is changing. So complete branding is changing, the content is changing, and there's no point. I mean, if you want, you can go and look at LinkedIn profilepro.ca, and there's a whole concept behind changing it. It's a big one. I mean, Mark, do
Yeah.
you want to write it?
Oh, here.
Think I can send you a direct message. Can I?
I think.
Private chat. Yeah, private
Now
chat.
experimenting again. Hamad's
No,
middle name.
I used to use Restream, but I stopped using it actually.
Okay. Actually, I should do this when I do this. Hamad's middle name is experimenting. How do you like that?
Did you get
Okay.
it?
Cool.
Did you
Can I
did
copy
you
it?
get it in your private chat?
I don't know how to copy it, so I'll just type it, but
Yeah.
it's right there,
No,
so I
just
can do it.
cut and paste. I think you can cut and paste if you want. But anyway, this is the website, when I started it, LinkedIn profilepro.ca. And um, first of all, it was a big name, it was quite long.
Is that right?
Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
And then it was .ca, and then I played with it, so I messed up with its kind of alignment and things. And because it was .ca, I was not really able to optimize it at a global level. So if you are in Canada and you search for LinkedIn profile writer, my website comes on the first page. So it's
Whoa.
pretty much
How did you do
optimized.
that again? How'd you make that happen?
Yeah, I mean,
What's the trick? What's the
it's
trick?
no, it's like optimization, SEO that I did.
Oh, really? Wow, that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
I mean, I know what SEO is, but not everybody
Yeah.
gets first.
No, and I did not do it. I mean,
Oh,
I
okay.
outsourced it to someone to do it for me, and it took about I think 65 days to kind of reach to that level, from 100th page to first page. But the thing is that if even if you look at this website, it's pretty. Um,
I stuck mine
I
in
would call it. It's pretty bad, actually. It's pretty bad. But I experimented on so many things. I got Calendly installed in it, integrated in it. I had like a free website review thing integrated in it, and so I'm still experimenting. But anyways, uh,
Yeah.
when I realized that I won't be able to optimize it on a global level, and a lot of my LinkedIn clients are coming from all over the world rather than just in North America, I had to change the name. I had to take a .com name, and LinkedIn profile pro.com was not available. So I thought probably this is a trigger to rebrand myself, or my kind of website and my work.
Right.
So I got lucky, and I got a shorter name, which is LinkedInimpact.com.
Okay.
LinkedInimpact.com. So I got that, and when I got that, I had to kind of do all the logo stuff, rebranded and everything.
Is that available?
Sorry?
Is that live yet?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. It's just still work in progress.
And if you want an
I mean,
example of what I had to do, go to my website, which is eocstudios.com.
yes. So kind of complete rebranding itself is a huge job. I mean, you work in the creative industry, and these creative people, I call them, you know, the team that is working on it. I said, you guys are crazy. You put something together, I like it, and then you don't like it yourself. So no, we don't like it. We want to fix this, and you move on. So, anyways, the logo is redone. I loved it. The website structure is there, and kind of we are almost finalizing it. And hopefully before end of January, we will be able to launch that. And all the traffic coming on to LinkedIn Profile Pro will be automatically redirected to LinkedInimpact.com.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so I'll have to rebrand my last book. I mean the LinkedIn book also, and it. Well, anyways, that's a separate story altogether. The branding and the rebranding stuff.
By the way, I accidentally look cool because on EOC Studios on Instagram is this hip hop rap artist that
Oh
hasn't
yeah.
done anything for like 2 years, but I wanted to get Instagram, so I typed that in. I'm like, what? And they're a limited liability company, so I'm gonna probably have to change my name. But I went on there. I'm like, hey, people are gonna think I'm a rapper, hip hop artist.
No,
Of
you
course,
can
if they
add
know
you
me
can
and
add
they
a
look at that
number.
picture,
Yeah, but you can add a number here actually. Eco
yeah,
Studios
probably,
1. Eco Studios 1, and you
yeah.
will be number 1.
Or I could do that weird thing people do, the real. I don't like that though. Like the
Well, I
real
think
Donald
1,
Trump, the
yeah,
real
I hated that.
Brian Phillip, yeah.
Yeah. So that's the
Everybody else
story
that has
around.
the thing is fake.
Yeah.
So,
So that's the
what
story around
um
rebranding.
what was the thought process behind? I mean, so you got a physical book and you got a
Yes.
virtual book, and the third one's gonna be virtual too, right? So
Yeah.
how did you
So
decide? How do you decide which media to go, and why would someone not? Can you do both?
yeah,
You
I
can.
could, I
Yeah.
could, but remember, like until March last year, I was like employed with the, as I said, with this huge not-for-profit, which is a
Right.
U.S. Chamber of Commerce affiliated not-for-profit, one of the biggest private sector development not-for-profit in the world. And I was traveling like crazy, from one country to another country. I had 10 countries in my patch. So the only time I had the time that I contributed in doing whatever I did. So uh, and every process needs resources, and those resources are not only physical resources. These resources are your mental resources also, and time resources. So, and I mean, I achieved certain level, which means that I published those books.
Hmm.
May not be ideal in the current situation with Amazon and all those Kindle of this world, but I had the content which can easily be converted into anything.
Right.
So I'm not starting from like zero level. I already have everything available. I just have to
Right.
convert it.
Well,
And
I mean, I have friends who've done it all, right? I mean,
yeah,
I've known one guy. He was going to release a full-fledged physical book, do a thing where he goes on Amazon and Apple and all the places and have it available. And then he decided, you know what? I'm going to start with a shorter ebook. So he released the
yeah,
ebook. Then now he's growing it into the full-fledged book.
yeah,
I have another guy who just does ebooks. That's all he does. Another guy who does collections of essays and stuff, and he publishes them himself.
yeah,
Um, yeah, things like that. So the lesson here is it's kind of a repeat with add-on. So find your voice, write. When you have enough to write, enlist as much help as you can, and just publish. Whether you
absolutely.
self-publish or you find someone else to publish, just get it out there. And then, come on, perfect example again. He published this stuff, and he's going to go back and repurpose it
Yeah,
and publish it again in a different form.
yeah,
It's yours. I mean, Sinead talks about that too. She goes,
yes,
hey, I mean, for a while, I mean, I'm just too busy right now, but as I get less busy, I'll start doing it again. But like this shows it's full of, like tidbits and stuff. So edit it and,
yeah,
and go like, just have like a little snippet. Mark asked this question. Hammad said this. And then you put like titles in front and back and just like a
yeah,
little 2-minute segment. Boom, in your face. There you go. So,
exactly. And there
yeah.
are people out there who are hungry for content, right? They need to learn and they need to get inspired. And, if, I mean, what I say is that, like, I do this, as I said earlier, every workday, weekday,
Yeah.
morning, 8:35 a.m. Eastern Time, I show my Growth Talk 2021.
Yeah.
The thing is that, I cannot change the whole world. I don't want to change the whole world. But if I could change one person or two person, persons, and I could kind of handhold them to their growth trajectory, I've done my job.
Yep.
And that's what I'm doing. I'm putting in a lot of efforts in it, using my exposure to the world, working in, again, going back, tooting my own horn, working in 10 countries, ethnicities, languages and religious diversity, and people with color, people with no color or whatever.
Right.
So that this is like huge knowledge that I've acquired, and if I keep that knowledge with me, and if I die with that knowledge, what is the point? What have I given to the world?
Oh, by the way, that last little bit, that's going to be a segment. It's going to start out with conka conka with a horn, and then here's Hammad blowing his own horn, and then we'll have a little segment.
Yeah. Thanks, Amir. Thanks, Amir.
Hammad, oh, by the way, I have an idea for your fourth book.
Yeah.
Have you ever
Yes,
have you ever read From Third to First? It's about the development of Singapore, going from a third
I
world
haven't read
country
it.
to a first.
Yeah. Well,
So
I've not read
your
the book.
story about all your stuff you did in Pakistan and your international stuff. I mean, granted, it wasn't a country. There's a lot of cool stuff. I think you should write an autobiography.
Yeah,
It'd be interesting as heck.
it will be. I think I have to be retired, and if I don't have to work from 8 a.m. in the morning until 10 p.m. in the evening to kind of transform myself into this entrepreneurial career that I'm in, I would actually write an autobiography, because I'd been involved in some interesting philanthropic work,
Yeah.
providing water to places where there was no water, and then these are some of the things in the West people can't even imagine. I mean, you can water not available. How is that possible? I mean, go to Africa, go to some other part like Papua New Guinea, which is an Australian colony technically still. You go and see poverty. You go to Bangladesh and you see poverty, and you go to Sri Lanka and you see transformation of that country from war to what it is at the moment. I mean, I go to Nepal. I'm so fascinated with that country, and you see, so all that, Turkey, for instance, go to Azerbaijan, Cambodia, and all that is. I mean, the information that I have and I've experienced is phenomenal. But again, I need a lot of time to kind of put everything uh, in a context.
Right.
Autobiography is not an easy thing to do. Probably writing a book the way I'm writing is much more easier.
By the way, I know a really good ghostwriter.
I know him too.
By the way, people, that's me.
I know him
You
too.
help with content, I'm here for you. Anyway. And I'll do it in your voice, not in mine, so don't be scared.
Yeah. But by the way, the next book that I'm kind of thinking, and this is again a cue from my morning sessions, is I'm kind of compiling all, or kind of recording all the content that I have. And I have this fabulous fellow who I found on Fiverr, and then he found me on LinkedIn somehow. He got connected with me, and he did my first transcription. Uh, if anybody needs some transcription work, audio file, video file, let me know. I will connect you. And he is damn cheap. I mean, he's like, he did like 13 pages for me for, I think, $15 or something.
Let's explore that idea. I don't think everybody knows what you're talking about. So when we were having a discussion, like everybody's hungry for content and creating content, and Shanae talks about this. Hammad does a really good job of this. Other people do, but he's talking about, for example, I have this show. It was Hammad's idea, by the way, but it's my show.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm going to continue this. So if anybody has cool ideas, it's spontaneous combustion. For disruptors by disruptors. For now, that's the tagline. But
yeah.
So he has this idea for creating content, just like me. She goes, "Hey, if you got a big long video show, cut it into segments and use that. Reuse stuff." So what he's doing, which I didn't. It's a great idea. Whatever your live stuff or talking stuff or video stuff, we get a transcription of this show, and then we edit it and put segments of it. The word, and we print it as a post in a Word from this show. Just me rapping, him rapping, we're riffing, and we grab it and we just throw it on paper, and they're like, Booyah!
Exactly.
Great idea.
So the market for content is out there. There is
Yeah,
a different market for people who would read. There's a different market for people who will watch you, and there's a different market for people who will listen to you.
right.
So it's the same content that you can repurpose. So with this, I've done 12 programs already.
Yeah,
My plan is to do 30 programs. So by end of January, I will see if I have enough content to produce an ebook around Growth Agenda 2021. If
cool.
that happens, then uh, I'll introduce you with the new book.
All right, sounds good. But one of the things I love about you is I'm like going crazy, and then I'm done, and Hammad's like, and so then I'm going to do this, like the voice of Kyle. It's great. It's great. I like the contrast. Anyway, so how did you come up with the idea for transcription, or is that something that's been going on a while? Or I never really thought about it. It's a great idea.
I mean, see, again, the thing is that, either you, so there are different stages in your life. Either you are taking something very seriously and professionally, or you're taking something very casually. So until I was like full-time employed, I just didn't have time to kind of think beyond what I was doing. So I was doing enough, as I said earlier, for people to learn, and kind of it was automatically building my brand, and people were kind of following me and all that. With whatever number that I have at the moment on LinkedIn, about 56, 57,000 followers. Uh, it it it's organic, so it grew automatically. I did not do much around it. It's just the content that people liked, and and kept following me. So now that I'm like 100% focused on my work around LinkedIn and coaching, I need a lot of digital content, and that digital content will come from all everything that I'm doing at the moment. So
Right.
it's not only posts, it's the videos, and I mean, those uh, who still are struggling, believe me, videos are so natural. Like Mark and I'm talking. I don't have a script. He doesn't have a script, right? We're just sharing our original thoughts. He
Oh,
has something.
I knew something was wrong.
He's hiding something underneath. So this original content is the real value. This is the trust that we speak a lot about. Shanae and Chris both talk about the trust, uh, and the trust comes with this real knowledge that we are sharing with our audience and people who have joined us. So with that, I came up with this idea that if I get this transcribed, so the first one that I transcribed was also my live session with Rehab, one of the Growth
Right.
Academy, member, and she's a transform. So I actually helped her do something on her LinkedIn, some tagging and stuff. So I mean, we started talking, and I brought her as one of the speakers. So it was like a 1 hour program which I found somebody, as I said, on Fiverr and got it done. I mean, it's not perfect because they use a software to transcribe it and then they edit it. It's not perfect. But the thing is that I have the content. It's my content. I know what I said, right?
Right.
And I can always fix it, or I can give it to an editor to fix it for me. So the content is there, and this is exactly what I'm doing with my half an hour show in the morning. All the content is available, and it will be like chit and chats, and the real meaty stuff. We'll take out the meaty stuff. We'll leave the conversation behind, and that meaty stuff can be transformed into a book.
Cool.
Yeah.
Like it. So we got a few minutes left. There are any ideas you want to leave us
Uh,
with, or you want to tell another story? It's up to you.
I mean, I would like to take some questions if there are any. I don't know. I mean, Sylvia said thank you, so good luck. If she said good luck, so thank you very
Okay.
much, Sylvia. If we have, I don't know how many people are with us.
Yeah, I
If
don't know
any,
how many people are left. Let's see. Any questions? I can't spell questions. See what happens.
don't have many. So, uh, yeah. Any questions? So for Mark. So let me put a question to you, Mark.
Okay.
Uh, I mean, are you working on, in addition to your book, are you working on any other digital products? Do you have anything in mind at the moment?
Well, I've got a bunch of ideas brewing, but I don't know what they're going to be. So I don't know if you've heard of what Veronica. It's Veronica Obasa Sawa or something like that.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so she does this thing where she coaches people on how to develop a course.
Yeah.
So I'm going to kind of look into that. I want to work on my copyright thing, but I'm not doing very well with that. So I'm trying to figure that out and how to get customers and all that. So everybody I talk to, I go, hey, if you want a ghostwriter or you'd like me to write some copy in your voice. So I'll start out with like doing it for referrals and references for the first thing, and then once I start building a business and start charging, and then as I get better, start charging more.
Yeah.
So right now that's the plan.
All right. Yeah, that's a great. I mean, again, the thing is that if we don't experiment, we will never achieve. Even if we fail during the process, that's lot of learning throughout, and we get to meet people we had never thought of meeting in our quest to find new ways of doing things, and we learn a lot. So, for me, this whole journey around my entrepreneurial career has been fascinating. um, and at times my wife hates me because I'm spending too much time on fixing things on somebody else's profile or kind of helping somebody to write some content. But ultimately, that brings in money. You see, I'm managing other profiles, and they pay me for that. Writing content and stuff, and that's an interesting way of kind of. I mean, I could have looked for a job here, with my experience and exposure, I could have easily got into a job. But,
Right.
I said, why would I, at this age, I have another technically 9 years working life if I work for an organization. If I put those 9 years into my own thing, I would be working forever until I hit the grave. So,
And it'll be more enjoyable
yeah, I'm
because it's your
having
own
fun.
thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm meeting people like you. I've just got a message from someone who does entrepreneurial videos based out of British Columbia, and I'll be speaking to him hopefully tomorrow. I met people like Dhanresh. So yeah, so I'm connecting with people who I would never have thought I would connect with, and these people are from everywhere. That's the beauty of
I know, it's amazing.
yeah, yeah,
And it's so easy to do these days too. Like just saying we went in a time machine and we went back, like with my dad. Oh yeah,
yeah,
Dad, I just did a podcast and we had people from Pakistan, Nepal, Russia, Germany, and just start listening and go like, "What you talking about?"
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
No, it's,
um,
it's it's all about kind of building your network and creating your trust in people, and being authentic, um, and being out there to help people as much as you can. Like, you can always do certain things free of cost, but people should also appreciate, as we were discussing before, also that if
yeah,
you're spending your time and expertise and things, you can't do it for free forever, right?
right,
Um, and I get a I spend, so you talked about story, so it's a brief story. We have 3 minutes to go. Somebody contacted me from South Africa. We had a call, like he really wanted to get his profile done and everything. He's in the financial sector and he was very ambitious. He wanted to work in Singapore, and his profile was a piece of crap and this and that.
yeah,
So, I quoted my price, and it's a flat price. I don't negotiate because I'm not charging too much. I
right,
only I'm only charging like 400 Canadian dollars, which comes to about 305 USD for a profile, and people in this market are charging as much as $1,000 for the similar work.
Right.
And I provide coaching also as package, because I feel that if I do the profile and I don't coach people how to use it, there's no point. So I
Right.
provide coaching as a package, anyways. So next day he comes back. He said, in fact I sent him PayPal invoice and everything, because he was like, okay, send me the invoice. And next day he comes back, sends me a voice note, that send me an invoice of 400 Canadian dollars. Can you break it down into 100 now, then 200 at this stage? And I said, no, I don't get into this crap,
Right.
because I don't have time to follow up with you. If you want to pay upfront, just pay upfront, and that's it. I'll do your work. So you find these ways, these people, in your way, but you have to sometime be brave enough to say no.
Right. Yeah, you're good about that. I like the way you experiment. Uh-oh. Hammad. All right, well, he doesn't come. Oh, he came back. So anyway, he disappeared. He didn't like what I said, so he took off. But now he's back.
Yeah, I'm back.
Anyway, I was thanking you.
No, there was
It was good timing, though. Good. I'd like to thank him up. Wait, where'd he go? Oh, well, I'll just thank him in absentia.
Yeah.
Anyway. So, I just want to thank you.
Mark. Good. Yeah, so thanks for inviting me for the show. And
no problem. It was your idea. It's a great idea.
Yeah.
And if you have any ideas for future shows for spontaneous, here, I'll just show it. I'm going to start a new series. It made me think of this. Events for disruptors by disruptors. So if you have any other ideas, let me know. It's great. It's been great getting to know you, and I look forward to getting to know you even more. So I was surprised a lot more people didn't show up, because the advertisement I put out, the last one, actually got like 2,500 hits.
All right.
So I thought, oh wow, we're gonna blow up, and then it didn't.
You should create an event. You should try to experiment with LinkedIn events. And
I made this a LinkedIn event.
You did?
Yeah.
So did you? Just before, like an hour or a couple of hours before it, just put a post and notify everyone.
I put a post in the event. Maybe I should have put a post out on LinkedIn. We'll see.
Did you notify also?
You mean like invite people?
So no. When you put up a post, you create an event. You put up a post, like a day. Well, I usually do it like a couple of hours before the event. Put up a post in the event, and there's a button called notify. Hit that button, and that button will actually notify everybody who has accepted invite to the event.
Oh no, I did not do that. I'll contact you later to figure out how to do that.
All right. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I did post this morning and said, hey, here's the event page. Here's the links for YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. But I didn't do the notify thing, so I should probably do that.
That's all right.
Anyway, it was a good conversation, and we had at least 5 people in and out, so that was good.
Yeah. I loved it. Thank you very much, and
we'll talk soon.
Very good evening. Bye-bye.
All right. See you, man. Thank you. Bye, everybody.